All right. So, as the question entails, well, the video entails, I went to Reddit and asked the DNF Duel Reddit or whatever, what happened to DNF Duel? As the title says, one asked me about this game for a YouTube video I have an idea of, which is where right now. And of course, any comment will be shown in it. I recently got in the game, played with a good friend of mine who's on channel right now. Say hello to the channel.
Hey.
Okay, anyway. And I realized the game was dead. Online servers are most matches you have to get from either Discord or in the Reddit itself. Now I'm literally completely to the game, as you know I am. And I see there's DLC characters coming out, like I think what Monk was the latest one that came out, I believe.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really seem to help much with the player count. And the time me typing this, which was like yesterday afternoon, I think the total player count on Steam least was 21 players. And overall, I like to get a conversation going with these three questions in mind. What got you to the game initially? Why did the game not blow up like different Arc Sys games? And do you think it's too late for them to fix it? So I might as well have you answer the question first, Micro. So what do you think about what got you to the game initially? Let's start with that one.
What got me into the game initially is because I used to play another game called Dungeon Fighter, which is actually what DNF Duel is based off of. It's like a Korean MMO, beat 'em up MMO.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was really excited when DNF came out. So.
All right, so why do you think that the game didn't blow up like how like Guilty Gear and other games like that did?
I can't say it didn't blow up. It's more so it didn't stay. It didn't keep the player count that it had, because originally it had, like on day one at least, it had around 12,000 players. That's still like a good amount of players, and that's just on Steam alone. That's not even counting PlayStation. So
Did it have like rollback and stuff that came out?
Yeah, it was one of the earlier games to have like the really good rollback.
Oh dang! Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
And
mm-hmm. That's it.
Do you think it's too late for them to fix the game by now?
Personally, I don't think the game. I think it's too late to fix it. I don't think it needs fixing per se.
Mm-hmm.
I think the game found its community, and honestly, the community is still growing. There's a couple DNF Discords, DNF Network. That's a pretty big one that the majority of people are in. Where's this other server I'm in? There's a grind Discord. I don't know how many people are getting invited to that one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, if you're in your FGC regional Discord, they might host games for that. There's the training mode network. They host tournaments every week. So it's like there's still a lot of like spaces for the game that a lot of people are in, and that they're still joining in and starting new things. So.
Okay. Oh yeah. I did see a lot of Discords with it, especially going to Reddit. I saw like a whole bunch of Discords and whatnot. But now we're going to look at what actual people in the Reddit commented, and the first one is from Yellowish. I think that's how they want that wordplay to work.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so some of these terminologies I'm not gonna know, because a lot of people use different terminologies in this. I don't know what that means.
I can just explain it.
Okay, I'm a Bloody Roar fan. I think that's a game.
It's a fighting game.
And the aiding developed this game. I knew this game was going to be broken. That's why I loved it. While other 70% don't and quit the game. And for my second point, they said there's no communication, no roadmap for the first 5 months, overpriced and skill issue.
Okay, so for that one, pretty much no communication and no roadmap. They released the game with gave you the base roster, and then they pretty much forgot about the game. They released the game, they gave us no communication on Twitter or any other social media. They didn't give us any type of communication in terms of, are we getting DLC, when are we getting patch notes, if anything, etc. And then it wasn't until I forget when they came out, but it wasn't until they revealed Spectre that they said no, it was, I think it was around Evo. I'm not sure the exact day.
Mm-hmm.
But they pretty much surprise told us, yeah, you're gonna get a balance patch, and they, at that point, they fixed a lot of issues that the game was struggling with. But I think by that time the game was so far long gone that it was too late.
Yeah. And then that third point was Nexon, I guess the developers ever are rich as fuck, so maybe they could fix the game. I don't know.
Pretty much saying if they want to fix the game, then it's up to them.
And then another one, this is a kind of a long one. Not really, but I liked it. Okay, Worth Disciple 880 was like, I got DNF, I got into it I like Dungeon Fighter Online, but they were like, oh my goodness, but didn't really start caring until they added character I like, which took till the game released to see. And it's hard to say, and I feel many different people get different answers for this question alone, but based on that, I think it's due to not meeting those expectations that it caused. The game didn't give people immediate content drops to satisfy the hype spear. It didn't give enough within the game itself to keep people playing or wanting to leave. And most would leave believing the game will be shallow and not worth diving into. Just funny TODs. I guess that's touch of death. I know that one. And fucked up balancing. And add to the lack of communication and social media present at the time, the fatigue that older FGC fans who are currently in future competition that only erode the game's presence in the market. It pretty much spells the game's future as a niche anime fighter that's only some people remember.
Yeah,
they touch on like everything I see a lot of people say.
Yeah, they pretty much dropped the game, and they pretty much satisfied the people who wanted the 1v1 element, not even fully, but for the people who wanted that element, they were there for that. But they had a single player mode, but it was pretty much the same for every character. You might, like, if you're interested in the lore of the game, then like that's good for you. But like, again, it was pretty much just another single player. It was pretty much just another 1v1 mode. You would fight different characters based on the story of the character that you're playing as. But it wasn't really anything different for the story mode that you would get in a 1v1 format, like playing someone online.
Oh, yeah. And then what the point is, like, too late to bring it back. They said the game has since gotten better. I wanted to be optimistic and say it's possible for a comeback, but the harsh reality is probably never will. Even with the recent push to keep the game alive somewhat, I take more just a character drops and stage to see more popular than it is, which is probably not probably not happen a large effort community to push the game and convince people that it's good, which also won't happen. At least right now, it's easier to consider funnier. It's easier or consider funnier to not acknowledge existence and call it a bad game. Even if you only touch it for an hour or less, someone on Twitter pretty much shows what kinds of issues it's having by saying how it could have done a lot better if it came out years ago, because it's a fighting game that unfortunately came out when everything was progressing extremely quickly. I forgot when this game came out, so I forgot what year it was. I remember playing it with y'all when it first came out. What year was it?
Came out 2022.
2022.
Oh right, I remember, because it came out right after my birthday.
Shoot.
So.
Oh, dang! What else came out? Was that Street Fighter? Came out.
No.
It came out last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out like June last year. I think so, but I know games come out in 2022.
Same year as King of Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
I think did Guilty Gear when did Strive release?
It was at 2021.
That was 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
then it came out like right before. It just came out at a bad time because it came out right after Guilty Gear came out.
mhm.
And it came out literally the same time as King of Fighters came out.
Mm.
It came out the same time as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure came out, and Multiverses.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot.
It was pretty much fighting for its spot at that moment. And then it didn't help that Street Fighter 6 came out the next year. So it's like it didn't really have, if it was gonna it needed to work fast if it was gonna be like its own
still
place.
have a spotlight or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Then we got some long paragraphs I can't read. Where Illustrator 271 was like, I was initially super hyped for the game since I play a lot of DOF or DFO. That's the Dungeon Fighter line, and I always thought it would make a great fighting game, and it did. People actually dove into the game, were not disappointed. However, the survival of most fighting games usually depends on how well they cater to the casual community, sadly, in parentheses. Even though they have everyone's simple, okay, I'm not reading this one, that's how it's worded, have everyone's simple inputs and super big hitboxes, they failed to properly advertise the game, and they failed to support the game in timely fashion. My guess is that a company Nexon or Nepal, I guess that's the two other company names, really didn't think that game was going to get a player base that it had, which was a huge in the beginning. They chalked the game up as a cash grab, and they saw the amount of people supporting. They decided to try to create DLC characters at the last second. Unfortunately, people were proclaiming the game to be dead. Once people started saying that, then the casual community generally stops playing and supporting. When that happens, your game, the online lobbies are the first to show it. It's really sad because my favorite DFO character just came out, Monk, and sometimes I just want to go online and find lobbies, not to jump through other apps to get matches, which is one thing I also really hate in my fighting games. Blaze Blue Cross Tag, and the game still had a tournament scene, believe it or not. The hardcore players tend to stick around as long as they're getting some kind of life from the devs, but I doubt ever be an Evo game. They clearly missed the window for that, but who knows? Marvel 3 had a revival, so maybe DNF has a chance to come back in the future. Probably not anytime soon. Yeah, I really vibe with the part that was like, generally stops playing / supporting. It happens, all lobbies are the first to show it, and you just gotta go to Discord and get matches. That kind of kills the game for me a lot personally, because I just want to hit casual or like not non-rank or whatever, just go ahead and fight, play the game for like an hour and get off. That's just me though.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, thank goodness it's a shorter one. Oh my goodness. Trapaholic Twitch TV says, initially I got to the game because of Arxis. That trailer has been impeccable, so why not? And I think it didn't blow up for a few reasons. DOF is a very niche title, or DFO, I keep saying DNF. DFO is a very niche title, not really any content in the game. Nothing to grind for. Rank kind of lacks once you made to deity, which I guess that's like the highest in that game.
That's one of the highest rank. No, in DNF.
Oh wait, in DNF. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In the balance, early on, everybody hated Swiftmaster. What?
Swiftmaster is the wind one.
Is he bad? Good?
No, he was real. Him along with Striker were the two of the best characters of the game in the original base game.
Oh.
They were pretty much very fast. They were output a lot of damage. They had good mix-ups, good pressure. They pretty much had everything in the beginning.
And it's never going to be a huge game, so they cave. That's what you mean by fix it. Balance is a lot better now, and the gameplay was fun in my opinion. Yeah, I definitely like the gameplay. It's definitely fun. It's a very simple game, honestly, to wrap my head around. Oh, another paragraph. No, let's get the paragraph one. We'll come back to that one. And then, oh my god, I can't pronounce this guy's name.
Midhajlami.
Yeah, that. What got me to the game was character designs, and the game initially had a large player base, balance issues at launch, and generally people moving away to next fighting games usually do. Possible DNF relaunch like Grand Blue Rising and something similar. A lot of people definitely was talking about one way to fix the game was have like a relaunch like how Grand Blue did. And what do you think about that?
Personally, I don't know, because the thing about Grand Blue was that Grand Blue still had Grand Blue.
Cause like, didn't they have like it still had like a player base even before the
Grand Blue still had like a really big player base. They were shown at Evo, at CEO Taku. And they just like they like solidified their place.
Yeah.
And they were even then, even if you want to say they were a dead game, they were still getting consistent updates from and communication from the developers. The reason DNF died compared to Grand Blue was that we really didn't get any communication from the dev team.
Yeah.
Like with Street Fighter, I want to say it's similar with them, but the difference being we pretty much got Street Fighter, and they told us from the back we're not getting any patch notes until pretty much a year later. But they were transparent with us in what we were getting. And when that date come, we got patch notes, and it's satisfied the people as to what they wanted or what they needed. Versus DNF, we got nothing from them. So it's like if they were to revive the game, I'm not sure if they would, how it would work, just because they already have that track record of not having communication.
No. Ooh. I'm just looking at the next one. It's such a big paragraph, but I picked it out for a reason. Okay. Whew. Speedo Blade? Speedo Speed. Yeah. Speedo Speed. Yeah, that guy right there. The character designs and gameplay. It's something more simplistic than Guilty Gear, even fighters of just just enough competitiveness. After a month, Meadows figured out the system mechanics were discoverable to be very weak, especially on defense. Remember, the game is simplistic, so not having answers to play situations turned a lot of the player base off. As per usual, there's also a case with half the cast feasting and other half in a great famine. With Master was the epitome, that word, of broken top tier, and Vanguard was epitome of garbage and low tier. Which one was I don't remember who that was. That got the Lance. Yeah.
Vanguard is the Lance.
Yeah. It also leads back to character design. If you pick up this game and play, you like Vanguard, Launcher, Inquisitor, Ghostblade, Enchantress, Lost Warrior, or Grappler, then you didn't have fun against the other characters. Most frustrating part was truly knowing the game was one or two bounce patches away from fixing these simple frustrations. But then the team went radio silent for months. No announcement of a patch, no announcement of season pass, nothing. People were incredibly confused because the game was doing so well. It seemed like Nexon just dropped the game without ever having any plans for it, possibly because it was so niche. But as with a major brand now, they have big pull for these type of games. Nexon fumbled so massively that DNF Duel is a study on how not to make a fighting game. At it, right, it fucked up regional pricing that Nexon never fucking fixed. It costs like 5 or 8 more than should other places. They really want this game to fucking fail. What do you mean by that? The pricing.
I assume they messed up the like price conversion from different
like regions or whatever. Yeah.
I'm not.
I think that's what they're trying to say.
That happened.
Yeah, I never heard that either. And the third point was like Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Mortal Kombat 1, Guilty Gear Season 3, and 4 on the way. Grand Blue Fantasy Rising, Under Night. It's too late. They fucked up. This will forever be a Discord fighter. They should have capitalized on it from the beginning. Everyone needed this game. And like this. Simply but good enough until it was figured out. The fact the first major bounce pass took 6 months. Dang. 6 months out. But the game had no chance in this beautiful product that was failed by the manufacturer. The bounce pass came in December 2022. Actually did make the game more fun, but it was too late. Dang.
Yeah. I actually remember that because pretty much in patch 0 you had no defensive options. Like pretty much the only thing you had was roll, and it was extremely slow, and it was still not extremely slow, but it was pretty slow and it was pretty laggy. So against characters that like had answers to that, you pretty much had nothing. And then it wasn't until like the first patch they added they pretty much gave you what you needed, but like that guy said, it was pretty much still too late. Or it was too late. They made roll faster. They gave you Indomitable Spirit. They gave you backwards roll, which is different from backdash. And they gave you and you had guard cancel in the original, but it's pretty a lot of characters had OSs to get around it. So it was like you pretty much had, once you were on defense against like the good characters, you pretty much had nothing. Like Vanguard, you could simply duck under his DP. So it's like, even though he had a DP, he didn't really. Grappler had no DP pretty much because his DP was a counter. Troubleshooter, they didn't really have any damage in the beginning. They fixed that pretty much later on, but like the guy said, it was too late pretty much. A lot of characters, unless you were a Swiftmaster, Striker, Berserker, Hitman, or Troubleshooter, and even Troubleshooter is at like closer to the edge of the bottom part of that list. Unless you were like those 5 characters, pretty much had no place in the game.
Feeling I wasn't there day one, I would've been crying. Alright, anyway, where was Konichi back then? Was she like good? I don't know. Mid? Low?
I'm not sure. I think she was mid, but I'm about to look.
She feels like a mid character though. I definitely would put it. While you're looking at that, I'm gonna read this next one out real quick. It's by Gene Psycho or Chiso one. I believe that's how you say it. What got me to the game was character designs and effects got me to the game. Yeah, the game exists in a weird area where it's very explosive, very Kusugo like. I don't know what that means.
Kusuge.
What's that mean?
Kusuge pretty much means killing game in Japanese. It's relegation of fighting games where you get hit once and you die. Oh,
like touch of death games basically?
Yeah.
Okay. Game in terms of damage and pressure, but also it doesn't have the air dash in general of games similar graphics. Yeah, that was so weird not having like an air dash. I was trying to do air dashes to get in on people. Like nothing happened. I was so confused. And I think it just didn't find the audience. And chances coming back in the future, they say I think so, only if they made a sequel of sorts. And this time they did communication thing right. The key is that you never really found and kept the audience. There are a couple of thousand people really hyped about it, but they completely failed to tap into the MO people, and they failed to retain players. I don't really hear too much MMO people talk about the game. Really, because I really knew MMO before the game even came out.
It was more so that the people who came into DNF were introduced to the MMO from the fighting game. But if you were in the, I think more people that were in the MMO already were interested in the fighting game, but I don't think anybody, or not many people, got into the fighting game from the fighting game from the MMO. It was more so that more people were put into the MMO from the fighting game.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because I definitely didn't. Yeah.
Kunoichi was bottom of top tier in the first patch.
Dang. Okay. Ooh, oh, that's cool. All right, I think this one's about to be the last one because we're already like half an hour in recording. I didn't think we was talking that long, honestly. I don't like burnt toast. Was like I don't have interest in game, but I know why I died. Devs gave up absolutely no updates for months. Took ages to even purchase to produce a DLC. For the issues it had, it was pretty overpriced. Nobody wants to spend the money on DLCs. They don't like them. They took long to produce any updates or fixes that lost all support and hype, and nobody likes it. And in Zoroark, it's a social security number. I don't know what the heck these numbers are for. I was waiting for a price drop, but even if it got one now, I wouldn't buy it anymore. And I was like, I got a free Epic Game Store because that's how I got the game. And yeah, I mean, that's everybody just lack of support is like the biggest thing that everyone agrees on. Which makes sense because that was what made it really bad. But yeah, I guess here's my answer to the questions. I got into it because my friends played it, honestly, and I think it didn't blow up because it definitely, looking at it, I wasn't like really into the game, but definitely wasn't no support, and everybody agrees with it. And then to have patch notes taking 6 months is kind of crazy. Where other games look like, I think at the time I was playing, what game were we playing back then? We were playing Guilty Gear a lot. Yeah. And they always like, they was on top of it. So, that was the thing. And do I think it's too late for them to fix it? I feel like they can do the Grand Blue strategy. I feel like if they did it right, it could work. But that's like, I feel like they already kind of like made a bad name for themselves at the same time. So it's like, I don't know. If it do come back, I'll definitely play it though. And if it don't come back, I'm still probably play it a little bit, but it's not gonna be like one of my focus games I play. Some of them just to press buttons, interrupt my brain really. But yeah, that was me asking Reddit what happened to DNF Duel. There was like 96 comments. I could not go through all of them. We'll be here forever. I will link the Reddit post down in the description. You want to put your input into it, or just reply to other people's stuff, have a conversation going and whatnot. But yeah, Micro, thank you for being on channel today. Give your input because you played DNF way more than what I did. And I just didn't know. I did not do this alone. So I was like, I guess somebody that played DNF. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully they fix the game one day. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's like, how many more DLC characters coming out in this?
It's one more that we know of.
Oh dang. If it gets the second round.
If you're still in, I mean, the game, like I said, the game is still growing. There's a lot of discords that people are always open to play the game with you at any time of the day, really. So it's like,
all right, well that's it for this. And probably might do more videos like this. It's the first time doing it. Just having like a little sit down talk about the game. So if you guys like it, make sure you leave a like on the video, comment, subscribe. Also subscribe to Micro's channel. He's a cool guy. Plays a lot more fighting games than what I do. So if you like that, go check him out too. All right guys, see you.